On this edition of the Koffers, is this a beauty or an absolute beast? Alright guys, this is it. This is the final review of the current lineup of Godzilla x Kong, the new Empire Playmates figures that I have acquired over the last couple of days. Just for clarity, there will be a bonus video, but I'm not considering a full review, but you'll see what I mean when that goes up in a few hours. But we're going to look at the giant size Kong, which rounds out the last of the giant size figures. So if you've been paying attention, we have done all of the 6-inch line, the 10-inch line, and we even got the little crystal 2-inch figures. So the whole line that is currently out has now been reviewed. So we're going to take a look at Giant Kong with Beast Glove. Again, not knowing what that acronym is. Hopefully we'll find out soon. And yeah, so let's dig in. So one of the things whenever I open these things up is that all of these figures are strapped in with these kind of twiny, they're not plastic, they're kind of like twine, and they are locked down like Fort Knox. The Godzilla had more than I anticipated. So everything is attached to that plastic casing in the back and behind the box. So let's get a good look at the box real quick. Much like the other giant size figures, there's Godzilla and Kong. There's the logo, the giant with the Kong, the Beast Glove, Saint. And then like I said with the last one, everyone gets their own unique backer card. So here's Kong. Let's see what it says up there. About the same thing. Take a look at that figure. Right, let's see if this matches what the back of the box looks like. So we got to crack it open. I'm going to spare you the normal cutting, and we're just going to jump right into it. All right, we got them out of the box. Let's get down to the review. So the thing I have noticed with all these giant size figures compared to their 6-inch version is that they are essentially just blow-ups of those 6-inch molds. And much like the other ones, as you can see, hard plastic. And unlike the 6-inch Kong, the heft isn't in the body, it's actually in the legs where all the weight is carried. Actually, it's carried a bit better. So this guy actually stands a bit better than his 6-inch counterpart because he's not so top heavy. So let's look at the detailing. He's actually got a pretty awesome facial sculpt. This looks like a reuse or maybe slightly retooling of the Godzilla vs. Kong giant size sculpt. I might be wrong. This might be a completely new sculpt. So the body does look similar, with just some slightly new tooling on it. I wouldn't put it past them that they reused a lot of the old Kong for this. The one thing I did look going back at the Godzilla vs. Kong figures, they did not add as much detailing in the fur and hair on those figures. So this is definitely either they added pretty much some more molding and sculpted out, or I might be wrong and this might be a completely new mold. So or new tooling, I mean. So who knows, but let's get deeper in. So there's his battle scars and his 8-pack. Now we go down here. So there you go. Let's take a look at the Beast Glove. And surprisingly, pretty good detailing. Again, like I said, this feels like more of a blow up than anything else at the 6-inch figure. And like I did with the Godzilla video, I will pull out the 6-inch guy to compare and contrast. But a little more better detailing in the serial numbers here. All right, let's look at articulation. So just like the 6-inch Kong, he is fully articulated. He has a ball and socket joint that you can move left to right, up and down, which I love, especially for this. You kind of get more bang for your buck. Same with the shoulder, or I'm sorry, with the elbow. Pivots. We got the same thing over here. The fist, though, here is locked in. That will not move whatsoever. And actually, that won't be this. Nope. So the fists are locked in. But you get the same movement on the other arm. The head, like all the other ones, is just on a swivel. At least this one moves, unlike Godzilla, where the thing I think they gave us, the fact that Godzilla's one big mold piece, the head won't move, but they did give us a moving jaw, where Kong's jaw cannot move. And like the 6-inch one, he is positioned at the hips. So as you can see, the hips completely move. Give you a better idea there. He does have some movement at the knee, although actually, yeah, a little more articulate than the 6-inch one. But let me see here. There is no joint at the foot. So just like the 6-inch one. Now, again, I was kind of disappointed with the Godzilla, considering that he is completely immobile for the most part. His legs do not move, his arms don't move. For the same exact price, you get essentially a giant size action figure for $24. This, along with the Scar, I think is the best deal of the entire line. Is it my favorite figure? No. The 6-inch Kong is much cooler. That one is the one I like the most out of the entire line. But this is not a bad runner-up in comparison. Like I said, it's $24, and you're essentially getting a 10-inch action figure, which any kid would absolutely love. And actually, to be fair, many adult collectors would actually enjoy this too. He is a little more on par with the Todd McFarlane, what was it, Raw 10 figures, which to this day I still feel that those are the best homages to the old school like Imperial figures that were put out in the 80s and early 90s. McFarlane, though, has better sculpting than Playmates. That said, Kong isn't bad. I kind of dig this Kong. And like I said in previous videos, I am a sucker for any Kong figures. There was a long time where we didn't get a lot of Kong stuff. Now we do, and now we're actually getting sci-fi Kong, which I am totally in. All right, now let's do a little quick compare and contrast. There is the 6-inch Kong. You can go back and look at that video. Since he is smaller and his upper body is solid, you get a little more detailing, the paint's a little bit better. Here's the large Kong. Here's the gloves. In comparison, as you can see, this feels like pretty much a 1-to-1 move up in scale. Like I legit think that they just essentially just enlarged the mold. So I will say this one actually does have a better facial sculpt. But this one isn't bad. So there you go. That's the comparison. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up our review marathon of the Playmates Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire figures from Playmates. I have a strong feeling that there is another wave coming. Don't ask me how I know. It's just something's telling me that there's more to come. The fact that Tsuko was not in any of the boxes that were shipped out tells me as much. Like we saw with the Godzilla vs. Kong line, Warbat, Mechagodzilla, and Skullcrawler were like in a completely different line, or at least series, I mean. So I got a feeling there's more to come with this. Overall, not bad for kids figures. I've seen people out there complaining, but you gotta remember, these are children's toys. And you get what you get. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'm just asking kindly now. You don't have to, but if you want to, we're not going to say no to that. And if you've liked what you've seen here, we do have a lot more videos on the Koffers on our YouTube page, along with the backlog of our podcast. Yes, we do have a show. It is the Kaiju Kingdom Podcast. You can find us at thekaijukingdompodcast.com, or if you don't want to download, you can find us on any of your favorite podcast streamers. And all of our social media links are in the show notes on this video. And that will wrap it up. The grand final of these Playmates videos for the Koffers. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in with us. And stay tuned. We have a lot of other cool stuff coming. There's a lot of stuff from Japan I still haven't got to. So hopefully you come around for that as well. And we'll see you later, guys.